Club World Cup this Thursday.
Club World Cup this Thursday.
Al Jazeera?
Always. Dude, Club World Cup, one of my favorite little tournaments. And I actually mean that because the idea of it's dope. You get the best clubs based off of Champions League in each confederation, and you put them in one tournament, you have them play each other. And there's no time wasted. There's no group stage. It's one and done. Yeah. You win, you move on. You lose, you go home, or you play, a 5th place match, whatever the hell. But it's just really quick. Lasts like what, a week and a half, and I love it.
Let's predict how this year's World Cup, the last of this version, is going to play out.
Yeah. I'm gonna treat this as surface level as I can, because I mean, a lot of these teams, they won this, they qualified for a while ago, and right now, maybe they're in some weird form. So let's just start off with the first game. Host Al Jazeera, the current UAE champions, playing a Tahitian team, AS Pire. Never heard of them before. But I will say this, they just got nominated to this tournament. They didn't even qualify technically. COVID really fucked up Oceanian football, bro. They fucked it up.
Damn.
Yeah, COVID really,
damn.
A lot of tournaments over there, a lot of leagues just have stopped for 2 years. It's just tough to maintain infrastructure over there, so it's understandable. So it was supposed to be Auckland City, who almost always make it, but they just couldn't do it because of New Zealand rules. So this Tahitian team got nominated instead. So, man, even if they put up even a remote fight, it would be impressive.
Yeah.
It would be impressive. This Al Jazeera team, obviously, teams from the Middle East tend to do well in this tournament for some reason. They always kind of show up. I remember there was a couple years ago when I may have been Al Jazeera when they played Real Madrid and did great.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
They did great. So, yeah, I mean, these Middle Eastern teams always tend to do well. So, yeah, I got Al Jazeera winning this first game.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we have Monterrey facing off against Al Ali.
Yeah, so Monterrey are on the good side of the bracket because the winner of this plays the South American team.
Gotcha.
You don't want to play Chelsea. You don't want to play the European team unless it's in the final. Monterrey against Al Ali. Al Ali, they played the Mamelodi Sundowns in their African Champions League final, and they dominated it. I watched that game. Al Ali's coach is South African. Mamelodi Sundowns was also South African. His name is Pito Mosimane. He won the Champions League with Mamelodi Sundowns. And then he won it again with Al Ali.
Damn.
Yeah. So he's good. He's
heavyweight right there.
He's in form right now, bro.
My goodness.
He's in form. And Al Ali always make it, obviously they're like they basically make it to every other African Champions League final. They're here once again, and they always kind of give the same performance. It's good, but just not good enough. So I got Monterrey winning this game.
Yeah.
Monterrey, obviously, I mean, their squad's better. They're always at Club World Cups because they figured out the CONCACAF Champions League formula, bro. Like, it's kind of annoying because there are better teams in Mexico, Leon being one of them. There are better teams year in and year out, but it's always Monterrey who win the fucking Champions League, bro.
They know.
They figured it out.
They know.
Yeah, they know how to do it. And I don't know. I guess we need to talk to them to figure out how to win Champions League because I would love to see Leon play, for example, like Chelsea or something like that. But fuck, like
Dude,
Monterrey
Leon
just
hasn't
figured
made
out.
a CONCACAF Champions League.
No.
Monterrey and Chivas have been there. Tigres has been there. America.
Yeah, America. That's it. But then we're missing out on teams like Santos Laguna when they had a really good run. Atlas now, who are doing really well. We're missing out on some really good Mexican teams who just can't figure out CONCACAF Champions League.
Hey, well, it could be an MLS team too.
It could be, but it never is, man. Not now.
Yeah.
Shit.
And so the winner of the Al Jazeera Pire match plays against Al Hilal.
Al Hilal. So Al Hilal played a South Korean team in their Asian Champions League final, and very similar to Al Ali, dominated that game. I remember watching that game back in November. I was excited because I love Asian soccer. It's always just so entertaining because it's just so open. It's actually surprisingly offensive, just in merit and in style.
Yeah.
So I get excited when I see a high quality Asian team play another one. Al Hilal dominated. The South Korean team wasn't even in the fucking match, bro. Pissed me off. But it was good for Al Hilal. They're always here too. They always seem to do well in the AFC Champions League because, I don't know, the UAE teams can never crack the code for AFC Champions League finals. They just can't. Iranian teams have been making it recently, but they can't win it either. It's either a Saudi Arabian team, Al Hilal, or a Korean team. Sometimes Japanese team. But yeah, so this time Al Hilal's back in it. They play Al Jazeera. I think it's going to be a tight game, but I have Al Jazeera winning it.
Okay.
I have Al Jazeera winning it. Al Hilal are like in 4th place right now. Actually, so is Al Jazeera in their own league. So they're both kind of slightly out of form.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now the Copa Libertadores champions,
Yeah.
Palmeiras,
Yeah.
facing off against Monterrey in the semifinal, I believe.
Yeah, semifinal. I got Monterrey winning. Fuck the Brazilian football, bro. I just can't get behind it when it comes down to playing against other style teams. I think Brazilian football is good in South America, but I think it gets exposed when they play European teams and, for example, a team like Monterrey.
Yeah.
I think obviously Monterrey's not going to dominate them. I think it's going to be a really tight game. But if Monterrey are on it and they play their best football, I think they'll beat them.
Yeah.
Palmeiras obviously back-to-back winners in South America in Copa Libertadores, but for me they play a very I don't want to say conservative because it's not, but they just kind of play a very less risk-take type of game, and I think Monterrey will expose that with their own offense. Yeah.
I think I love the matchup of a Mexican team and a Brazilian team because I'm eternally pissed, bro, that a Mexican team was never able to win a Copa Libertadores during the time when they were involved, because I truly think if they had just let it run 5 more years, bro, you don't think that Tigres side would have won a championship?
Right.
Yeah, and I would love to see the reaction to a Mexican club team winning a tournament that's meant for the South Americans.
Yes.
Like just the chaos that would bring on. I feel like South Americans love the fact that a Mexican team was never able to win it. That they'll
always be able to say
fell
that.
short. Yes.
Yeah, that's actually such a good point because, if you read on forums, YouTube comments everywhere, South Americans are so high on their leagues. So high on them. But I completely disagree. Maybe 15 years ago, back in the mid-2000s, sure, maybe they were better. But the gap is completely closed. I would even say that the top 2-3 MLS teams I honestly could compete with the best South American teams.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that. And I think one thing that really kind of promotes that notion is that there was like a year ago, there was something on ESPN Deportes where they were interviewing a lot of Argentines playing in MLS. And they were asking them, they're like, hey, man, what's the difference? You've played in Liga MX, you've played in Argentine League, you play in the MLS. What's the difference? What league is noticeably harder? And everyone always said Liga MX was by far the hardest and the most quality league out of those 3 leagues.
Wow.
Out of Argentine League, Liga MX, and MLS. And even then, they still credited MLS. They're like, though, MLS is not that far behind Liga MX and even the Argentine League.
Damn.
Yeah. So the players, the ones who actually play in those conditions in those leagues, they're starting to recognize that the South American leagues are not as highly regarded as maybe the fans make them out to be.
Yeah, and I think it's just because of also a big factor is the quality of the international team. Kind of dissuading the view of how good the league is. People often associate how good the international team is with how good the leagues are.
Yeah.
And it's for some reason it's never been that way in South America.
No.
Like ever.
No.
The Brazilian league has never been as good as the Brazilian team. Maybe in like the 80s or some shit.
Yeah.
Argentinian league has never been up to the level that the international team is at.
No.
But because it's this area, a concentration of people where a lot of talent comes from, people just think, oh, okay, then their leagues are going to be better. But the infrastructure is not the same. The way the league is set up is not geared for quality the way that Mexico or even the U.S.
Even the U.S. right now, man. Yeah, I completely agree.
So I love the idea of Monterrey matching with Palmeiras. This is the final. This is the final of the Americas right here.
Yeah. And I genuinely think Monterrey if they play their best game, will win.
Okay. And so Monterrey would be facing off against
the winner of Chelsea and Al Hilal.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So obviously Chelsea, for me, having an underwhelming season in the Prem, because I had Chelsea fighting for the title like neck to neck for the whole season. I really did. I thought they were incredible last year Champions League run, man. And I thought they were going to completely continue that. So it's not that they're out of form. They're just not doing as good as I thought they would have. All that considered, though, a slightly off-kilter Chelsea is still an incredible team, man.
It's top team in the world.
Yeah, bro.
Top 5.
Top 5, something like that. So, yeah. I hope Al don't get fucking thrashed. But I got Chelsea easily winning that game, man. Like, easily.
Yeah, this is an easy one.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the final then becomes Monterrey against Chelsea.
I hope, dude, I hope that happens, though, because Monterrey already got, I'm not going to say so close, but
Dude, they put up a good
fucking fight.
Good game against Liverpool, man.
Yeah.
Really good game.
And so if they take that energy, man, I'd love to see what they could do against Chelsea. At the end of the day, I do think Chelsea will win. I think Chelsea's going to be the champions of this FIFA Club World Cup here in 2022 in the United Arab Emirates. But I hope Monterrey put up some sort of fight. I know they will. Well, if they get to that final, it's going to be a good fucking game. But ultimately, I got Chelsea lifting that trophy.
What if Palmeiras gets to the final? Palmeiras Chelsea, does Palmeiras have a better shot in that context of facing a giant? Do they have a better shot than Monterrey? You know, sometimes teams can be set up differently.
Absolutely. If Palmeiras make it, it'll be because their defense completely nilled out Monterrey's offense, meaning that Palmeiras have a really good back line, which they do. Palmeiras got to the Copa Lib not because of their offensive creativity, but because of their solidity in the midfield and in the back. So, yeah, I don't think they'd have any better chance than Monterrey other than maybe keeping it 0-0 for longer.
Okay.
So maybe they keep it tighter for longer and maybe they get something off a set piece or they go into extra time. That's the only thing I see Palmeiras doing better is keeping it tighter for longer than Monterrey could.
Okay.
That's about it.
But, hey, if Chelsea were able to win it, they would finally win their first trophy since the tragic loss against Corinthians in 2012.
Yeah, dude.
So they would make up for that.
Yeah. Paulo Guerrero.
Yeah. Dude, you know who I just found out who was on that team or who's part of that team? Chiche.
He's coaching.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I was looking at his coaching history. I was like, wait a minute. He was there?
Yeah. And they won because Corinthians that year were incredibly defensive. A super conservative team with a stud striker up top. And if there is a chance for a team to beat Chelsea, it'll be because they focus on defense first.
The fact that even happened is one of the beauties of this cup, man. It's insane, man, that happened. That was a part of this universe that we're in, was Corinthians winning that title and sending Chelsea home, the UEFA Champions League winners, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So I get so hyped for this tournament just because there is that possibility. And honestly, it happens pretty much every year. There's one team that loses that shouldn't have.
Yeah.
There's always one. And so I just fucking love. I remember Auckland City had a run to the semis one year. And they play New Zealand semi-professionally. It's crazy. So there's always a surprise at this tournament, especially because it's just the styles are they clash like crazy. So you can never predict what one team's gonna do. You just gotta go out there and win. And sometimes it gets ugly. Sometimes it gets really dramatic.
Yeah.
It's just so fun to watch.